Two of the shapes that we will need to be able to calculate the area for are rectangles and squares. Starting with a few vocab words, we will all need to know how to find the base of a shape. Typically, you might find the base on the bottom. Not always. It can be on the side or at an angle, but the base is one of a set of parallel sides. The other measurement that is used very commonly in lots of different shapes, not just a rectangle or a square, is the height. The height is how tall the shape is from one base to another, and the very, very necessary thing to know about the base and the height is they must always, always, always form a right angle. So the height has to be standing up straight, perpendicular to the base, forming that right angle. If the base and the height do not make a right angle, then they're not actually your base and your height, and you should be looking to usually create your own height line. You won't have to do that in a rectangle or a square, but in other shapes you will. So, rectangles and squares are great because all four angles in a rectangle are 90-degree angles. So I know if I'm declaring this long side to be my base, then the perpendicular side to that is the height. Got my two necessary measurements, I can calculate area. So the area formula for a rectangle is base, which is a lowercase b. Be very sure that you're using a lowercase because later we'll use an uppercase b and it will mean something totally different, times the height. So in this rectangle here, I see that my base is 3 inches and my height is 6 inches. Always start by writing out your area formula and then plug in the units that you do know. So we do know that my dimension for my base is 3 and that my dimension for my height is 6. You don't need to put in the inches there. We can do that my area is 18. However, this is 3 inches and this is 6 inches. Inches times inches, well, what is that? Anything times itself can be written as that base to the power of however many times you're multiplying it. In area, I'm multiplying inches times inches. There are 2 of them. So I put that my units are inches to the power of 2. This is also called inches squared because what area is actually doing is it's counting the number of squares that can fit inside a shape. If I drew this as an area model, you can see there would be 1, 2, 3, and then we'd cut the height into 6 equal sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 18 squares inside this rectangle, and that's why I can say that my area is 18 inches squared. I can also say that my area is 18 square inches because each inch by inch section makes up a perfect square. Same deal for actual squares. If I tell you that this is 4 inches, technically I don't need to tell you anything else if you know that this is a square. I know that squares have 4 90-degree angles. I know that if this side is 4 inches, then this side has to be 4 inches as well. So I can say my area is my base times my height. Area equals 4 inches times 4 inches. The area of this square is 16 inches squared, or 16 inches to the power of 2. If you do not have that exponent there in your units, your answer is incorrect. And those are the areas of squares and rectangles when you know all your side lengths. The other shape you might get is a rectangle or a square where I tell you the area. And I tell you one side length. And you need to figure out what that missing measurement is. So, first step, like it is in every single area or volume problem, is write out your formula. This is a rectangle. Area equals base times height. Second step, you plug in the numbers that you know. I know that my area is 144 inches squared, so I'm going to replace that A with 144. I don't know what my base is, but I do know that it gets multiplied by my height of 2, and it'll give me my answer. Then I can use algebra to solve. This base and the 2 are being multiplied. The opposite of that is dividing by 2. Do it to both sides. This becomes just my plain old base. And 144 divided by 2 becomes 72. Always include your units. Let's think about it. If this was 144 inches squared, which means 144 inches times inches, and then I divide it by 2, that 2 was actually 2 inches, then just like this simplifies to 72 over 1, this simplifies to 1 times inches. So my answer is that my base is 72 inches. I can also just figure that out because I know that the only thing in my problem that could have inches squared is area, and I'm not actually solving for my area, I'm solving for my base. So it just needs to be in straight up whatever the units are, in this case inches. Those are area of squares and rectangles.